Hello, hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to the intuitive card reading for the week of April 26th through May 3rd. All right, so we're getting into May. I'm very excited about this. All right, you guys know what to do. Please like this video. Please subscribe to this channel. Please share this video with anybody that needs to hear the energies and the influences of the week. Comments down below. All I ask is for you guys to be kind. I'd love to hear how this why can't I speak today? How this reading resonates with you guys. Any questions, any comments, just popping in to say hi. I love those comments too. So, all right, guys, same 3 decks that you guys are familiar with. No surprises there. All shuffled. I think they're in a different order from last reading, but not quite sure on that. However, this is the order that I feel intuitively aligned with. So let's go. Let's see what this week has in store for us. What do we need, guys? We need thirst. Did we have this in the same spot? The memory can never be trusted. Okay. All right, so we need thirst. So we're thirsty for something. Oh, maybe it was like 2 weeks ago, actually. So yeah, we're thirsty for something. Like we need something. It's like, we can't live without thirst. So it's almost like this is saying that we need our basic needs to be met. Or we're thirsty. You ever hear like we're thirsty for something, that somebody's thirsty for something, like something that you really, really want. So it could be 2 of those things, either of those things. It could be you're really, really dying for something, like you're really, like I really, really need this. Like something has to hit that spot. Something's got to scratch the itch, something along those lines. So you definitely need something. I don't know what it is, guys, but it could be anything. But it also could be that we are pretty much dying for our basic needs to be met, okay? So shelter, actual water, safety of some kind. I always think of shelter, like I already mentioned. You kind of think of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like the basic things that you need to like function, right? So there's something going on here. So guys, it almost just feels like you gotta get your basic needs met before you go on and do anything else. And if it's, again, what I was talking about, the former, if it's more so like you really, 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 really want something, make all of your effort this week to get what you want, okay? Clearly, there might be obstacles. Maybe that's why we're so thirsty for it, but do the best that you can to get it. Or if there are no obstacles in your way, just get it, okay? This could be something as simple as wanting to purchase something, but you have, you feel guilty about it, but you have the money. I'm not a financial advisor, okay? You guys make your own decisions, use your own intuition, use your own discernment, but something tells me you should purchase it, okay? So just saying. At least that's the vibe that I'm getting here. First things first. So yeah, we are aching. We are longing for something. I need a sip of water. Yeah, I really can't talk today. What's going on? Okay. It should be okay. But yeah, definitely like there's this longing for something, desperation for something. I'm using the D word. It's not always a negative thing, but we're desperate for something. Could be basic needs, but could also be something that we've been longing for. So yeah, pay attention to that. Woo, that's some really strong energy right there. All right, so action needed. So what we need to also take action on, even though this doesn't say action needed, it says need, still please go for that, guys. Please. Okay, this is why. So this is saying, this is always about asking deeper questions, cultivating self-awareness by asking ourselves why, self-reflection, all of that good stuff. So we need to start asking ourselves questions. So we need to be thinking a little bit deeper about maybe the reasons why that we do things. Coming off of the energy that I just mentioned, maybe we need to ask ourselves why we are so desperate, or why we got to a place of desperation, how we got to a place of desperation. Why is more important, but how is also, a legitimate question. But yeah, we need to start asking deeper questions, being more curious about maybe our current situation, or other people, like seeking clarity by asking questions is basically what I'm getting here. So definitely don't assume or project. Really try to get down to the truth of the matter, and like I said, be curious, ask questions. So this could, I'm not getting a specific area of life where this could be, but just in general, it's good advice, it's good guidance of like being curious, you know, self-reflecting, look at ourselves and ask ourselves the why behind our behavior or people's actions and things like that. Issue, we have lover. Okay, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Okay, but it's under issue. Okay, so we're having issues with passion and devotion. We're having issues of appreciation. Okay, so maybe we feel like we are having trouble appreciating something or having trouble loving and being passionate about something. So if we're maybe, you know, maybe it's a little rocky this week when we're trying to be grateful for the things that we have, appreciate the things that we have, or appreciate the people in our lives, or, you know, that kind of thing. So we're definitely having trouble getting into our lover girl, lover boy, you know, mindset or archetype. Definitely getting like a feeling, just gonna be honest with you guys, being grouchy, being maybe a little bit pessimistic, you know, the opposite of passion is like basically passionless, so like apathetic, so feelings of, you know, apathy or just feeling maybe bored also could come through with this, feeling bored, so yeah, kind of like a stuck feeling I'm getting through this. You know, we're not like loving life, we're not, you know, we're not passionate about anything, we're not, you know, feeling grateful. It's just we're a little bit of a curmudgeon, if you ever heard that word. a little cranky. That's all right, we can have cranky weeks, that's okay. So there's that. What do we got going on challenge wise? We've got beauty. Okay, oh boy. We are quite the curmudgeon this week, let me tell you, because this is basically saying we're having challenges seeing the beauty in things, in ourselves, in situations, in our environments, you know, things like that. So yeah, guys, we're not being able to see, you know, we are cranky, we're not in a good mood. I'm just gonna be, well, that's not true. I was gonna say I've never felt energy this strong before. That's not true. But this, in a long time, I haven't felt energy like this with these, you know, especially in the issue and the challenge spot. It's been a while since they both kind of linked up and kind of made this energy stronger. So yeah, not too much more I can say here, guys. It's okay. It's, if you can't see, you know, if you can't find the optimism in life this week, it's okay. If you can't find the passion the passion of the beauty in life this week, that's okay. Okay, you know, everything is temporary, including this, but you guys know I always tell you the truth, so yeah, let's move on. All right, challenge. We have orphaned. Oh gosh. Okay. No, sorry. Change. I misspoke. Okay. So, guys, what is going on? All right, guys. I'm honest with you. Okay. So this is saying that orphan is always depression energy, feeling alone energy, feeling misunderstood energy. So that's what's changing. And I feel like it's not going to, you know, sometimes it could be like, okay, maybe we're getting out of that, but I don't feel that. I feel like we're getting into that. So 3 cards in a row where we are feeling, can't find the passion, can't find the drive, can't find the devotion, can't find the beauty, okay? And now we're feeling depressed, you know, now we're feeling alone, you know, isolated, all of those things. So what is going on this week? Not a great foreshadowing for May in general, to be honest with you, but that's what's coming through. So hold on, guys, and I know you guys can. I know we're only on the first row here, but I feel compelled to say, just get through it. I know you guys can, you know, you got this. I know you always do, but yeah. a little bit of a bumpy ride. It's so far, it looks like. All right, what do we need to focus on? Student. Humility and devotion. There's devotion. Okay, to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. Okay, so it's basically saying be the student, be open to learning, which makes a lot of sense. That really corroborates on the Y card, because, that's, the action needed is basically saying we need to be more curious. Student is curious, open to learning, finding things out, listening, understanding, the readiness to learn, essentially, right? So we love that. So yeah, I mean, that just double downs on that energy for sure. What do we need to reflect on? I'm afraid to keep pulling these cards, to be honest with you. Okay, so we have waves. All right, so this is okay, so things come, so it says reflect. Okay, so reflect on the waves of your life, almost like chapters. That's the first thing that kind of comes to my mind here when I see this. Things come in waves. You can't always be up, can't always be down, like that kind of thing. So kind of reflect maybe on the waves of life, the seasons of life, the chapters of life, how things ebb and flow. Yeah, so a very like introspective, spiritual type reflection going on here. All right, responsibilities. We have happy. Okay. But it's funny it's under responsibility, because it's basically saying it's your responsibility to find joy. Okay, it's your responsibility to find happy. So, guys, this is basically saying make sure, because we've got a lot of the cranky energy going on up there. We have a lot of the dark energy up there going on. Make sure you find moments this week to be happy, to do something that brings you joy, to get you in a good mood, to, pull yourself out of the darker energy, okay? So it is your responsibility to do that. So make sure you try to schedule some fun, carve out at least like an hour or two of fun or something that brings you joy. It's your responsibility to do so, unless you're going to go crazy, okay? Because it looks like it's a little bit, like I mentioned already, one of, a more pessimistic, darker seems like a little bit too strong of a word, so I'll use the word pessimistic. All right, money, finance, and career. We have beggar, but we have it in the light, confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. Okay, so this isn't, we've gotten this like a few times. This is about being okay, so let me see if I can explain this okay. So it's basically saying that you are receiving something and guys, I don't know if I'm going to explain this correctly, so please stick with me. It's kind of saying like having humility for what you can get. Does that make sense? Not the best way to describe it, but that's what I'm feeling. My brain's not working all the way through, so I can't always get the right words out. But this is basically saying like if you're receiving assistance from somewhere or somebody's like helping you out, like it's important to have humility here, and I feel like that you do, because again it's in the light attribute. So maybe if you're getting some kind of like government assistance, which in my opinion is never enough. They're usually, social programs, at least in the United States, are usually lacking or slacking on, even enough money for your basic survival needs, right? So it's kind of like hard to be grateful for that, but I feel like you guys maybe are this week or something, like just being grateful for like the money that you do have that's coming in. It doesn't have to be like assistance in that way, but it's almost like you are being very like grateful for the, maybe the very little that you have, for like all of like the basic necessities. So just like so far, a lot of this energy is like kind of talking about like, so this is basically saying that you do have gratitude for it, even though, like I said, like up here in this block up here, we're having some issues with gratitude, but you do find it for money, finances, and career, for sure. But again, it could be very conflicting because this energy up here is telling us that like our basic needs may not be met, but we're still kind of like grateful for the money and finances and career stuff that we do have coming in. Does that make sense? So like I definitely do feel like we are kind of like trying, like almost like we're teetering, maybe I should say, back and forth between like being grateful and like being annoyed that we don't necessarily like have our basic things that we want, basic survival things, if that makes sense. But yeah, I definitely feel like there's a lot of gratitude and humility coming through with money, finances, and career. So you're very grateful for what, maybe you have a job that doesn't pay well, but you're very grateful, you find the gratitude this week about it in general, like actually having the job, but you're not being paid your worth kind of situation. So so like I said, there's some kind of humility or gratitude around, I hate to say it this way, but like it's basically saying like something is giving you the bare minimum, whether again it's a job or somebody supporting you, maybe you're in a relationship and it's not the greatest relationship, but your significant other is supporting you and you hate it, but you are also grateful for it, like that kind of thing. So there's some kind of gratitude here with what you're receiving as far as like career, money, and finances. Yeah, I don't know if there's too much more I can say here. If you guys want me to clear it up a little bit more, let me know down below. I don't know if I can do any better than I just did, especially being in the moment of the energy, but if it resonates with you, I'd love to hear how that resonates with you, because if you're brave enough, you don't always have to share publicly if you don't want to, but yeah, that's an interesting, a little bit of a difficult one, but this whole reading so far has been very different than usual readings, I will say. All right, what do we have under surprise? We have something good here. What's going on here? Oh, persistence. Okay, so so it's under surprise. So basically our persistence, our ability to not let something go, our ability to keep going, our ability to not give up. I mean, I already know this about you guys. You guys are like the toughest people I know. How do I know? Because you're spiritual people, and obviously you are. If you're here listening to this message, if you're listening to somebody read cards, you have some kind of connection to spirituality in some way. And so that to me means that you're persistent. That means you're resilient. That means, you believe in a higher power, and you believe in, whether that's yourself, whether that's God, whether that's, source energy, nature, whatever you want to call it. You don't give up. So there's something, you're going to surprise yourself by being extremely persistent. Okay, so I mean, we can tie it back to the thirst card, where you're trying to maybe get your basic needs met, and you just don't give up trying to do that, right? You surprise yourself. You go to the ends of the earth to get that done. And even you surprise yourself, even if you find yourself to be like a capable and resilient person, you do not let something go. Like there's something that you're not going to let go. I see it as positive. It could be something along the lines of like, you don't let something go, like in the point of like, you annoy somebody where you keep following up with somebody. So in that aspect, maybe it could be like a little annoying, but again, I see it as like positive, but it could be negative for the person that's like receiving it, if that makes sense. So yeah, you guys are persistent. And again, I see it as like a positive thing. All right, friends, chaos and conflict. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's some chaos and there's some conflicting energy. So possibly a fight with a friend. Chaos in your community, in your family. Other people are fighting. Or at least not getting along, or butting heads, or something along those lines. Could also be something like maybe you're supposed to go on a trip with friends and, you know, your travel plans get thwarted all over the place and it's extremely chaotic. Could be something like that. Doesn't have to be directly with the relationship, but something is chaotic going on with your community, friend group, family. All right, romantic connection. We have Hermit. Seek solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. Okay, so we're being more of a hermit in romantic connection. All right. So you might withdraw from your significant other a little bit. Your significant other might withdraw from you, want to spend more time by themselves. That's okay. You know, it could be you, could be your significant other. That's okay. It's just you want to focus on yourself. You want to focus on maybe something. Maybe you are trying to get like your basic needs met. You got to get your, you know, you don't have time for, you know, a relationship, you know, and thinking about your partner's personal needs this week. Like you're in survival mode of some kind. So, I mean, that makes sense. Or if you're going through a lot and you tend to withdraw. I know I do that. You know, if I'm going through something, I withdraw. Not the greatest for the, you know, the connection, but you got to do what you got to do. And it could be somebody towards you, right? Meaning like your significant other could be the hermit towards you. My single people, this could mean that you just don't, you know, if you have any dates scheduled, something tells me you might cancel. It's not a bad idea to cancel, but again, as I mentioned earlier, use your intuition, use your discernment. You might want to be like by yourself this week. You have more self-reflection time, which makes sense. You've got, you know, the card basically of self-awareness, going deeper, asking yourself the deeper questions. Then we have the reflect card asking us to reflect on the chapters of our life. And then we have the hermit. So right down this row is like pretty introspective type energy. So it makes sense. Okay, what's important? Nourishment. Yes. Nourishing your body, taking care of your body, taking care of your basic needs. Guys, what's going on in our lives where we are feeling like our basic needs aren't being met? I don't like this. I don't like this, but that's what's coming up. So please take care of your body. Get back to basics this week, okay? That's the best thing I could say here. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Eat the right foods, move your body, sleep, you know, all of those things. Health and wellness, we have peace. Ooh, okay. Well, at least we have peace in this area. All right, so what I will say is maybe, possibly, not necessarily for everybody, but maybe this area of our life is the place that we find the peace this week. Okay, health and wellness. So whether it's physical health, whether it's spiritual health, whether it's mental health. Although I will say we did get the orphan card up there. Okay, I will say that. So maybe not, like I said, I'm just throwing this out there, but I definitely feels like we have found reached some kind of peaceful resolution when it comes to health and wellness. So maybe this is becoming at peace with your body. Maybe it's just becoming at peace at where you are. Maybe you are depressed and you're like, I'm okay with that. You know, I'm okay with that for this week. I know it comes and goes. You know, I know it's not forever. And I know I've come really far and I'm just in a flare. You know, we use the term flare when we're going through chronic illness. You know, maybe that's what's happening, but you have peace about it, you know, something along those lines. But I see it as a good omen that we have the peace card here in health and wellness. And hopefully that's not the thing that we're having survival kind of, you know, where we're, you know, not necessarily getting our needs met, but it could be, you know, the thirst. I know it's not literal, but it could be like we're not drinking enough water or getting the nutrients that we need, you know, from the nourishment card here. So it could be, but I like that it's here. It's giving me peace, just it being there in this reading. So yeah, I like it there. All right, overall outcome, we have Judge, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. Okay. So this is about being, Judge is usually about balance, right? In general things. So balancing things out. So I like that we're ending with this because as I've been reading, you guys have seen, obviously, since you've made it this far, that this week is a little uneven. Okay. It's more thumbs down than it is thumbs up. Okay. You know, we have sparks of, you know, responsibility is to find some joy and some happiness. We do, you know, we are we continue to go forward. We continue to be persistent. So that's all good stuff, right? But it definitely feels like by the weekend, things start to even out. Things start to get balanced. And things seem to be a little bit more even keeled. I will say, as long as you really listen to this reading and really get, again, I feel like the main theme here is getting your basic needs met and making sure everything that you need for survival, including shelter. If you're going through something where maybe you got an eviction notice or something, get that done, okay? Shelter is up there, okay, in our needs, right? Finding a place to stay, like, getting a lease signed, things like that. So that could be it, right? And so as long as you put the effort and the energy towards that, it feels like more towards the end of the week, get that lease signed at any cost possible, at any cost, basically, because we're persistent. Then by the weekend, we're going to start feeling like things are balancing itself out, right? So you have to put in the work is basically what I'm trying to say. So, okay, guys, not gonna lie to you. I feel like the whole reading is a red flag. I feel like the whole reading is a red flag a little bit. Sending my love. You guys got this, and I can't wait. Guys, watch out for the May reading, because now I'm going to actually record it after this, but it won't be posted until the last day of April. But I'm very curious to see what comes through with that reading, okay? I hope it's more optimistic, okay? So, but we'll see. And the only way for you to find out is to check it out. So, all right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.